Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
The American miniature horses utilized the blood of English and Dutch mine horses brought into the country in the 19th century. Undeniably, they also drew upon the blood of the Shetland pony. They were reportedly used in some Appalachian coal mines as late as 1950, yet little public awareness of the true miniatures existed until the 1960s. In 1978, the American Miniature Horse Association was formed in Arlington, Texas, and is now the world's leading miniature horse registry. Registered horses cannot exceed 34 inches in height, measured from the last hairs of the mane, generally the size of a large dog. American miniatures are miniature versions of well-balanced horses, possessing conformation characteristics found in most equine breeds. Miniature horses can be found in a rainbow of colors and types. Though petite, miniature horses are extremely versatile and excel in a variety of disciplines, including driving, halter, jumping, obstacles, and more. They are eager to please and make a gentle and affectionate companion for individuals of any age or ability. The American miniature horse is the horse for everyone. Y'all give a round of applause to young Kimberly Starr and Pumpkin. Our next horse up is the Paint. Well, I think Miss Sherry Miller is riding this Paint. This Paint is Susanna. She's a 5-year-old mare, and she is a 2-time world champion cutter. She is trained out of Jerry King's barn here in North Carolina. The American Paint horse is yet another breed that is descended from the Spanish horses brought to the New World. Journals of Cortez's exploration recorded 2 horses, one a pinto with white stockings and the other a dark roan with white patches, that were the first known paint horses. As horses moved into the western plains, Native Americans began to use them. The Comanches in particular were drawn to these loud color horses. They were called by a variety of names: a pinto, a paint, a skewbald, a piebald, and developed in just as many ways. In 1962, a group of spotted horse enthusiasts organized to preserve both color and stock type conformation. This was the American Paint Stock Horse Association. In 1965, this group merged with the American Quarter Horse Paint Horse Association to become today's breed registry, the American Paint Horse Association. Each paint horse has a particular combination of white plus any other equine color. Markings can be any size or shape and located virtually anywhere on the paint's body. Coat patterns are called Overo, Tobiano, Tovero, or Solid. These colors, marking, and patterns combined with stock type conformation, athletic ability, and agreeable disposition make the American Paint Horse an investment in quality. Let's give Suzanne and Miss Sherry Miller a round of applause. And next coming up, we've got Mr. Keith Isley on the American Quarter Horse, and this horse is Badger. And we're going to hit two balls with one hit right here. We also have the Palomino together. So this being a quarter horse and a Palomino in color. This is a 15-year-old horse named Badger. The American Quarter Horse began in the 1600s as a cross between native horses of Spanish origin used by the colonists and English horses imported to Virginia. By the late 17th century, these horses were being raced successfully over quarter-mile courses in Rhode Island and Virginia, and hence received the name quarter horses. The quarter horse was bred for performance and had considerable thoroughbred blood as well as traits of other lines. In the early 19th century, quarter horses were overshadowed by thoroughbreds, which ran better over long distances. They soon found a new acceptance in the western U.S. as stock horses. The breed's inherent quickness and agility made it ideally suited for tasks of the developing frontier. Its good-natured disposition and natural cow sense made the quarter horse a favorite among cowboys in the open range area of the West. In 1940, the American Quarter Horse Association was organized and is now the largest horse breeders organization in the world. Modern American quarter horses are short and stocky with heavy muscular development. Since these horses are used to cut cattle from herds, fast starting, turning, and stopping ability and speed for short distance are essential qualities. You'll see a little bit more with the quarter horses later on. I think Jerry is going to work some cattle with his quarter horse and also with the dogs as well. So, Mr. Keith Isley and the American Quarter Horse. And the Arabian, the majestic horse. This is Miss Natalie Andrews on a 4-year-old named G.F. Verizon. She competes in the Hunter Pleasure under saddle. And this horse, I think, is currently in training with Mr. Shannon Clark here in Pittsburgh. The Arabian horse. 3,500 years ago, the hot-blooded horse assumed the role of the king maker in the East, including the Valley of the Nile and beyond, changing human history in the face of the world. Though the Egyptians were made aware of the vast world beyond their own borders by harnessing the horse to their chariots. The empires of the Hyades, the Osiris, the Babylonians, and the Persians rose and fell under their thundering hooves. His strength made possible the initial concepts of cooperative universal society such as the Roman Empire. From this horse evolved the Arabian, a breed with its origin as mysterious and ancient as the swirling desert sands where they made their home. Historically, the Arabian breed was a war horse capable of withstanding the extreme conditions of the Arabian desert and covering long distance while moving quickly in and out of battle. The traits that were bred into the Arabian through ancient times created a versatile horse that is beautiful, possessing incredibly energetic, intelligence, and gentle disposition. Today's Arabians used for ranch work, pleasure, and trail riding, and their shows are full of the pageantry and color of days gone by. With side saddle and native costume classes, as well as the regular disciplines of English riding and driving, hunt seat, dressage, and Western riding. Ladies and gentlemen, the Arabian with Natalie Andrews. All right, this is a neat little one coming up right here. The Chincoteague. How many folks have been to the Outer Banks and seen the ponies down there? This is a Chincoteague pony. So this little fellow right here is 9 months old. It's Percy, and he's being shown today by Ezra Beckenrate. He says, but I'm all alone. I don't want to go in there. Here I go. There. So the Chincoteague wild horses along the Outer Banks of our very own coast of North Carolina roam 4 bands of wild horses. Descendants of the Spanish Mustangs brought by the earlier European explorers to set foot on what would become American shores. Today we are privileged and pleased to present to you the horses from the wild Spanish Mustangs of North Carolina. These horses have been designated by our state as a cultural treasure. In 2010, the colonial Spanish Mustang was named the state horse of North Carolina. Present-day Ocracoke and Corolla wild horses, also called the banker horses, carry the distinguished features of Spanish-type horses. Their even temperament, endurance, size, and the standing beauty which crops up frequently in the bank horses all point strongly to their dramatic history. These are the remnants of once numerous herds of Spanish stock which ran freely along the sandy islands of our coast. The Spanish Mustang Registry is satisfied that the banker horses, in particular the Corolla and the Chicotee, are as lineally pure to the 16th century Spanish importations as can be found in anywhere in North America today. This herd roams free on the northernmost outer banks of our state today. Folks, the Chicotee and Ezra. Well, he just felt proud of himself right there. And the Friesian. So here's a young man that is very proud of himself, and David is too. Okay, the Friesian, today being handled by David Zachman. David lives down here, I guess we would say down towards Golston, and this is Magnum. Magnum is a 3-year-old stud, and so he is all about himself, and he is the man. And if you want to question him, he will be glad to challenge you with that. The Friesian is famous as the glossy black war horse of medieval times that earned knights into battle. The breed originated in Friesland in the Netherlands. Conformation of this notable breed resembles that of the light draft, sturdy enough to carry a knight plus all of his armor, yet move with power and surprising grace and nimbleness. The Friesian successfully evolved past its warhorse heritage, and in the 18th and 19th centuries, they were in demand as harness horses for agriculture work as well as the trotting races that were so popular then. The Friesian became the horse of choice to work on dairy farms in the Netherlands, but as farms became mechanized and horses were being replaced by tractors, the breed's survival was threatened. World War II slowed this down, however, as gas scarcity allowed the population and popularity of the Friesian to rebound. Yet another miracle occurred when the Strasbourg family, fleeing Nazi Germany for relocating in the Low Countries, discovered the show qualities of the Friesian. Using these horses in their circus performance exposed a wide range of people to their abilities, beauty, and intelligence, and thus the world began to notice and save the incredible Friesian. Most Friesians in today are black in color, although the occasional chestnut can be found. They rarely have white markings except for a small forehead star. They are also recognized by long, thick mane and tail and feathers, long silky hair on the lower legs, deliberately left untrimmed. Today's Friesians are used for dressage or pleasure riding and competitive and recreational driving, single and in teams. Their striking appearance and high-stepping action makes them a popular television and movie participants. Ladies and gentlemen, the Friesian, Magnum and David Zachman. And the Haflinger. Today's Haflinger today is being shown by Rebecca Fruitz. Nick of University of Delaware. Nick is 11 years old. And if you'll get by and see Dr. Stephanie Fries and Nick and all his paintings, you'll see what he's all painted up for today. I think they're using him as a little demo horse as well. The Haflinger is best known for its distinctive coloring, but in many qualities make it a versatile pony, standing just under 14 hands. The most notable characteristic of the Haflinger is its striking coat color, a golden chestnut color with a white or flaxen mane and tail. It is sturdily built with short, well-boned legs and featherings at the fetlocks. Haflingers are known for their willing but docile temperament and their uncomplicated nature. The modern-day Haflinger was christened in 1874 in Austria, a refined mountain mare bred to a proud half-Arabian stallion, produced a colt named Folly. Today, all purebred Haflinger horses trace their ancestry back to Folly. The first Haflinger horses breeds were imported into the United States in 1958. Today, the Haflinger can be found in all corners of the world and is used as a pack horse and for draft work as well. Teams of matching Haflingers are popular in combined driving competitions and is versatile enough to do well under saddle, often participating in endurance competitions, dressage, show jumping, and trekking. Their size and calm nature make them a perfect fit for therapeutic riding programs. Whether your interest is trail riding, driving, or simply owning a delightfully family horse that you can trust with your children, Haflingers do it all with a smile. Folks, the Haflinger and Miss Rebecca Frutz. And Nick. And the Mustang. Today's Mustang has been ridden by Miss Alyssa. Miss Alyssa came from Germany today just to ride this horse. Reba is actually my personal horse. She is 14 years old, and she was captured in Alfred Springs, Oregon. So if you'll notice when she's turned back to the crowd, when you look on the left side of her neck, you'll see some brands. There are little white markings up along her neck, up along the main line. And every Mustang that is controlled by the government has a brand as they're put out for adoption. They're actually put out and controlled. That brand says that horse can never be sold for slaughter, nor can ever be used in a rodeo as bucking stock. So that's kind of neat. The term Mustang, which means ownerless beast, refers to the wild horses that roam the ranges of the western U.S. The Mustang is not a breed, but rather a product of many breeds that have mingled over the years. Swift, sure-footed, tough, and intelligent, Mustangs are well suited for the rugged conditions of life on the range. Today's Mustangs are descendants of horses that escaped from Spanish explorers, ranchers, miners, soldiers, and Native Americans. In the mid-17th century, they numbered between 2 and 4 million. Today, only about 50,000 survive. In 1971, Congress passed the Wild Free Roaming Horse and Burro Act, which states that wild free roaming horses are living symbols of the historic and pioneer spirits of the West. They contribute to the diversity of the forms within the nation and enrich the lives of the American people. The Bureau of Land Management, an agency of the U.S. Department of Interior, has authority to preserve and manage the herds. Yet the open range cannot support the number of wild Mustangs along with other animals, and so the Bureau offers to approve applicants the chance to adopt and provide a home for existing wild Mustangs. Many have been removed from their bands and been placed with owners who have gentled and trained them. Ladies and gentlemen, the American Mustang and Alyssa. And the Gypsy Vanner. The Gypsy Vanner today is Buzz, being handled by Miss Jody Griswold. And Buzz is a little 6-year-old gelding. And I think Buzz has been under saddle about 2 years now. And Buzz was bred over towards Asheboro. And Jody actually got him right after he came out from being under saddle with us. The Gypsy Vanner horse was selectively bred for over half a century to create the perfect horse to pull the Gypsy caravan. In 1996, the first Gypsy Vanner horses came to North America. So they've only been in North America for about 23 years now. The Gypsy Vanner is often referred to as a people-sized draft horse. The genetic origins of the breeds include the Shire, the Clydesdale, and the native British ponies such as the Dales. The Gypsy Vanner is not a color breed. It is a body type with heavy bone and broad body like a draft, but with the majority of the breed standing 14 to 15 hands at the withers. The Gypsy Vanner comes in any color, solid, Tobiano, and splash. The first characteristics often noticed is the abundance of feathers flowing from behind the knees and hocks as well as the long, free-flowing mane in its tail. In addition to adding the amazing looks, the Gypsy Vanner possesses a temperament that is friendly and engaging. They also described as mainly eager to please, confident, and loyal with a genuine sociable outlook. The Gypsy horse is renowned for its gentle nature. Originally bred to pull the Gypsy wagon, these horses are now being used in all disciplines. You will see them pulling carts and carriages, ridden in the dressage ring, as well as fences and Western pleasure mounts. Buzz, until real recently, his mane was so long, it was over 4 feet. So when he would eat, he would step on his mane, so she had to trim it back. It had gotten so long. So that's why his mane is short like it is. But in no time, it'll be hanging way below the girth of his neck. So we have Buzz and Miss Jody from a Gypsy Vanner. And I think the Morgan is up. Today's Morgan is ridden by Miss Kathy Beckerwright, and it's Area. She's a 9-year-old mare. The Morgan horse developed from one bay colt named Figure, born in 1789, which belonged to a teacher named Justin Morgan who lived in Randolph, Vermont. As was the practice of the day, Figure became known by its own owner's name, the Justin Morgan horse. Its ability to outwalk, outtrot, outrun, and outpull other horses was legendary. His stud services were also offered throughout Connecticut River Valley and various Vermont locations over his lifetime. However, his most valuable asset was the ability to pass on his distinguishing characteristics, not only to his offspring, but through several generations. All Morgan horses today are derived from this unique American horse. The Morgan is easily recognized by its proud carriage and upright, graceful neck, blended with soundness of limb, athleticism, and stamina. He is a free-moving and calm under Western tack, or elegant and aristocratic when ridden in English style. A trackable temperament allows the Morgan to excel when driving in single or multiple hitches. He is companionable on a quiet pleasure ride. He can work as a sensible partner in a long day of ranch work or endurance riding as well. And he excels as a show horse in formal riding disciplines. The Morgan desires to be with people. He is indeed the horse that chooses you. Ladies and gentlemen, Area and the Morgan, ridden by Miss Catherine. And the Lusitanos. And today's Lusitanos are being brought to us by Donnie Moore Farms. Donnie Moore is just south of Siler City off Highway 421. You'll see they have a really beautiful facility on the right-hand side, just a few miles south of town, Miss Victoria. And Mondego and McAdoo, maybe if I pronounce those properly, Macondo. The Lusitanos have a rich history that dates back over 5,000 years. They were originally war horses from Portugal and the Iberian Peninsula that were trained to fight. They would on cue strike out with a front leg and hit an enemy. They were and still are so agile and quick that they can canter in a circle or canter sideways to evade an enemy. Can you imagine the bond that you would have with this intelligent equine? Today, those skills of agility, speed, intelligence, and a strong desire to please the rider are deeply part of what the Lusitano is. This desire of the Lusitano to be with their person is one of reasons that are so popular today. Present-day Lusitanos compete in every area of equestrian competition, from dressage, working equitation, eventing, and Western events. Their athleticism and desire to please are what makes them able to compete in so many different areas. We know of one mare who was part of the search and rescue team in Virginia and was credited for finding a lost young autistic child due to their keen sense of awareness. Donnie Moore is honored to have the breed and train these horses for over 12 years, matching them with their perfect riding partners. Ladies and gentlemen, the Lusitano with Donnie Moore Farms. And this will conclude our show of breeds today. Thank y'all so much for your attention.